Cue Dave and Ryan in 3, 2, 1.
It's Dave and Ryan's movie review.
Sponsored by the Plan Z Diet.
All right, welcome back. We went and saw. Is it seen or saw?
Son.
Okay, we went and saw Mickey 17 in theaters right now. Rated R, 2 hours and 17 minutes. Robert Pattinson, Stephen Yeun, Mark Ruffalo, and Toni Collette. This is actually an interesting story. It all starts really on the planet Earth.
Yeah, basically they owe money.
Hey, if you were going to go into business and open just a macaron shop, I think you could make it. I would probably eat all the profits. That's just me. But him and Robert Pattinson and Stephen Yeun went in together to open this store. And Stephen Yeun put Robert Pattinson's name on all of the paperwork when they were borrowing money from a scrupulous person.
Yes.
So they figure the best way to do this, or Robert Pattinson at least figures the best way to do this, is to become an expendable and go to the planet Niflheim.
Yeah, well, it was the only job available to him.
Yes.
Yoon his character had a pilot's license.
I think so.
So he got accepted, and then basically
he had
no skills. So
he had to be an expendable.
Yeah, an expendable. An expendable is basically a guy who does he did all the dangerous jobs, and basically if he died, they had copied his mind and his DNA or whatever, and they would print out a new one. And download the mind.
But what happens is that it takes place on Earth when there is a lot of things that are going on. Was it the guy that invented the machine that went around and became a mass murderer?
Yeah, so yeah, he was one of the scientists that developed it, and then he got arrested for murder, but he had an alibi because he was at like this children's event when the murder happened, and so they found the murderer, and it was a copy of him.
So yeah,
and then there was another murder because there was 3 copies.
He just kept printing himself off.
Yeah, and so basically it became outlawed to have multiple copies. It was multiples.
Yes,
is what they said, and basically you can have multiples because you're bad and they would kill you all.
Well, and you can't clone either. That's where Mark Ruffalo comes in because he has the idea, if we take this off planet and create a civilization and we use them to do our work, then we can monitor it there.
Yeah, we can control it.
So that's what happens. So
Mark Ruffalo in this movie was amazing.
He was.
He was like a cult leader / politician / idiot.
Well, that's what I told my wife. I said he had that cult leader, Sunday television preacher vibe about him.
Televangelist.
Yes, he did, definitely. The hair doesn't help. And his wife is just out to lunch. So that really...
It's all about the sauce.
It's all about the sauce. And I love her in anything. Toni Collette is one of my favorite actresses. And yeah, so that kind of sets everything up. Well, one day he goes out, and Robert Pattinson is out, and they think that he's dead.
Yeah, he falls
into a crevasse.
Into a little ice cavern.
And they think he's dead, so, of course, they print out another one. Yeah. Well, lo and behold, there are these creatures.
Yeah, they're like worms / centipedes /
they look like a roly-pill bug because they can roll up. But anyway.
Like a slug-looking thing.
Something like that. But they go through, and they save Robert Pattinson's life.
Yeah, well, at first he was mad because he's like, what, is my meat not good enough?
He just wanted to die.
Yeah.
I'm not bad. I don't taste bad.
So he ends up making his way back to the ship, where he crawls in the bed, and lo and behold,
there's
Pattinson. Another one of him in there.
So now we have a multiple situation.
And apparently, the multiples, when you get printed out, there's like a certain characteristic that stands out. Like he said, like 1 was like oversensitive, 2 was a little paranoid, and 3 was something else. But the one that went into the chasm and survived, he was Mickey 17. He was number 7. He was the 17th version. And so 18 was in the bed when he got back. And 18 is a little over-aggressive.
I was going to say overly aggressive.
Yeah.
But so then they go through everything, and there is a chance for him to go to dinner with Mark Ruffalo, and that's kind of where everything goes south, really.
Yeah, because not only does he do the dirty jobs, they test all the new medications and stuff like that on him. It's like when they got to the planet, they didn't know if the air was safe, so they set him out to go breathe. And yeah, there was a virus in the air, and so they had to spend multiple days making the antivirus.
I thought that it was funny when he goes to the dinner. He thinks he's going to get this fantastic meal, and they're really just trying out something on him.
Yeah, and then they try something else out on him.
And then he gets violently ill, and then they try out a new painkiller. We haven't tested it on anybody yet, so we're going to give it to him. That's basically what he has become. He is a living, printable guinea pig. And so, things go on, and it is a different movie than what I've used to seeing. I'll be honest with you in that aspect.
It was like
that doesn't mean that it's bad.
So it's a sci-fi movie, obviously, but it kind of hints on political, religious issues, not just kind of. Have you ever seen the movie Idiocracy?
Yes,
it's kind of like that. Like the Future Wise, where
it's like that, but without the electrolytes.
It's overcrowded, and everyone's just kind of a little dumb, and so they go off into space. These voyages they're sponsored basically by corporations / churches, and so they're the ones who pay for everything to ship you off into space. On I believe that theirs was a 4-year journey to the new planet.
I believe it was 4 years. Yeah. And so, he just lives his life as a guinea pig. And I thought the most poignant question that he got asked more than once is, what's it like?
Yeah,
what's it like to die?
He hates it.
He does. He hates it. So, as I said, a different movie. This is actually from the director of Parasite, who actually won an Oscar for that movie. Yeah. So this is a sci-fi movie. It's based on a novel.
Yeah. I will say the pace of this movie is a little slower.
I was going to say it starts out really slow at the beginning.
Yeah, and it kind of stays slow. It's usually like an action sci-fi movie. You build up the pace, and at the end of the movie, everything's just going crazy. That really wasn't the case with this one.
No.
It was more of a slow movie, but it was still a good movie.
It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Pattinson has a great performance. Ruffalo has a great performance as well.
If he doesn't get an Oscar for this,
he did really, really well in this movie. Some other people, I don't know as though there's anybody else. Like I said, Steven Yeun from The Walking Dead, you would know him. I told my wife that after I watched it, he was kind of a jerk in this movie. So I was kind of glad that Negan caved his head in with a baseball bat in The Walking Dead. But
yeah.
I'm going to give this one, sitting here, I had a preconceived notion last night when I walked out of it. But talking it over, and you know what? I was going to actually give this one 3.5. I'm going to bump it up to 4. I really like this one. This was a good movie.
I like this one. There was a few things that could have been better. There was a few things that were just spot on. I'm going to give this one a solid 4.
Solid 4 from both of us. For Mickey 17 in theaters now, starring Robert Pattinson, Steven Yeun, Mark Ruffalo, and Toni Collette. And I think we've already established next week we'll be doing The Electric State.
Yep.
We'll talk all about that one as well. All right, coming up, since it was a big part of Mickey 17, we're going to talk about movies that deal with cloning when we come back on Dave and Ryan's Movie Review, brought to you by the Plan Z Diet.